All right, welcome everybody. So this is lesson 1.7, and this is going to be the first page of the notes on functions. So let's get started. A lot of situations on this are pretty easy to understand. Hopefully you guys have already done all this in the past. Bell work, we're not going over it. So we have definitions now. Vocabulary are functions, discrete function, continuous function, vertical line test, function notation, and non-linear functions here. All right, so when we get going here on this, we have basically what is a function, okay? It is a relation in which one element of the domain is paired with exactly one element of the range, okay? So domain and range. We've talked about this before in class. It's very important that I get you guys to get this year. All right, I know in the past maybe you're like, domain and range. You have to get it this year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. All right, so first thing over here talks about what is the values. So we'll do the vocabulary first. That's going to be on your notes. A function that consists of points that are not connected is called a discrete. D-I-S. Discrete function. If the function graphed with an unbroken line or curve, then it is called a continuous. Oh, let me make sure I spell this right. Continuous, okay? And then you can use the blank to see if the graph represents a function, okay? What you can do is what's called a vertical line test. Now, I put this in early because, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand, I want you to understand what that actually means, okay? If the vertical line intersects the graph at more than once, then it is not a function. Otherwise, the relation is a function. Okay, so what that means, ladies and gentlemen, this is a function because if I draw a vertical line through this, it only crosses the graph at one point. That's what's very important. That's the basic understanding. That's a function, okay? This is not a function because if I draw a straight line, it intersects where? Intersects at 2 points. That is the main topic of focus in this lesson today. It crosses there and there. That's it. That's what a function is, plain and simple. Now this one here is a function, and that has to do with these dots right here. If you guys don't know what a closed and open dot is, okay, closed when you guys have done number lines in the past. Open dot means it would be approaching a number, so we would be doing something like on this one here. It means this graph is approaching 0, but it's not actually 0. And this one it means the dot on the graph, that's actual 0. Okay, that is an answer, but this one is not close. And that'll come up later on as we go through the process. Okay, so next thing up here on the board is pretty simple. All right, identify the domains and ranges of these and tell me if this is a function or not a function. Now, some of you may look at this and say, what the? I understand, okay? What you have to do is draw a mental picture. All right, or just draw one out. One of the big key things I'll tell you guys as we go through this is over the course of the next couple of years, especially when it's going to come in relation to geometry, you're going to want to draw the pictures out. All right, so say for example here, if you're going through this and this is the domain. So remember, the domain would be like this, okay? And we would have horizontally, we would say star, sky, something like that, right? And then here the range is vertical. It have numbers. It have 1 all the way up to 8, right? So what you need to understand is it would be like this. Star is 8, so I'd go to star and I'd go all the way up to 8, put a dot. Sweet. Sky is 1. Sky is 1. Nice. And then I'd go over door is 1. Rock is 1. Chair is 1. Is this a function? The answer is what? Can I draw a vertical line through each dot and only hit one single dot? The answer is what? Yes. So this is a yes. This is a function. Okay. The other one here, okay, domain and range. Now it's the same setup. All right, where we would plot it out. You have to think in your brain and in your mind. And if you can't think into it, then you draw it out. All right, domain. So we would have here, and I'm going to just put rough estimates because does the exactness of this matter? No. Okay, it doesn't. So just remember that. All right, domain would be 1. Then I'd have an 8 and a 9, something like this, and over here it would be -9. And then range would be, I got a -9, so negative down here, I got a -4 somewhere around there, and a 5, right? So what you need to do now, plot out your points, right? So at 1 over 5 up. So 1 over 5 up, sweet. 8 over -9. So I go over 8, and I'd go down to -9 and put a dot here. But here's the problem. I'd go 8 over again and put a dot now at what? -4. So ladies and gentlemen, if I keep going out, I'll have different dots. That doesn't matter, but here's what matters. If I draw a vertical line through this point, it only crosses 1. But if I draw a vertical line through this, like that, then ladies and gentlemen, it hits 2 points, and so this is not a function. This is no, okay? If it hits 2 points, it's not a function. That's how I need you to understand it. It's complicated, but it's not at the same time, okay? Because we are going to throw some stuff out there. And because I need you to use your imagination, right? If you want to go back to the definition, you can, okay? Remember the definition was right here. A function where the domain is paired with exactly one range, okay? One domain, one range. If you have one domain and 2 ranges, then guess what? That's not a function, okay? That's how you have to think of it. One domain, 2 ranges. That's not a function, okay? This had one domain, one range, one domain, one range. It's when you have a split coming off of here, that's when it's a bad thing, okay? Now, on this one, so on the next 2 examples, if you have to write it out similar to this, you can, okay? Where you have domain here, and you'd have range on this side, right? Okay, and then you would go through, what is the domain? Because we've already done this. This would be, let me change the letter here. This would be S, I got an E, and then I'm going to have to go underneath. I got a B and an M, right? So I know I didn't give you much space, but this is how you can kind of do it. The range would be B and M. So I got a B and an M, just like that, right? So S and B. So you know you would say, when we do the plot points like we've done, S goes to B, right? And then it goes, E goes to B. E would go to B. And then B goes to M, and M goes to M. Now, is that a function? The answer is what? Yes, right? Because for every one domain, there is one range. One domain, one range. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a yes. Okay, you do the same thing over here. You got your domain and your range here. Okay, on this one, ladies and gentlemen, same setup, okay? Sorry, I have bad spelling at times, or really bad handwriting. All right, so this one would be -6, so I got a -6, -5, 7, and a 0. And over here on this side, the range is a Z, okay? So what you do now is you do the same setup, right? You go through this and you find out, connect the dots, right? So you go here, 6 to Z, there, and there. Is that a function? The answer is what? Yes, okay? Because for every domain, there is one range. Remember, it doesn't look like this, where you have this and then it comes out twice. If it comes out twice, that's the only time it's a no, okay? All right, so what I want you guys to do is pause the video and practice these on your own. Okay, one here, same thing, right? Domain, domain, domain. There's only one domain to one range. This is a yes. Okay, this one here, you look at all the domains. There's only one single arrow coming out to this. So this is a yes as well. And then you have on these, when you go through this process, if you need to do the domain and range, so I would put the domains on this side. I'll go T, a W, there's another T and another W, so I'm fine with that. On this side, it's a T, N, W, C, right? So that's kind of the setup on here. Then you trace it, so it'd be T to T. You have a W to an N, so far so good. But then we get a T to a W. So when you have this, one domain and 2 ranges, remember it's only supposed to be 1 to 1, then ladies and gentlemen, this is a no. Okay, and matter of fact, it goes W to C, so it does the same thing here. It goes like that, so that's a double no on that one, but there's no such thing as double no, it's a no. All right, so you would be, if you were to graph these letters, you would basically have 2 points on top of each other. All right, this is the same thing, okay? So if you're going out this, you'd have a -6, -5, and a 9. And then to plot this out visually, it'd be D, W, S, right? Because you don't only write it down once. Now you would draw the lines for each one. So -6 is to D, all right? -5 is to W, -6 is to S, and then 9 is to S. Once again, one domain, how many ranges does it have? It has 2, so this is a no as well. All right, same thing. If you were to draw this out, you get 2 dots above each other. So make sure you guys understand that concept. Okay, each one, tell me whether it's a function or not. All right, I'll do the first 3. Relatively simple. Use the vertical line test on this, right? So draw a vertical line through these. If it only intersects only 1 dot, then the answer, of course, on this one is yes. This one here, vertical line, hits 2 spots on this graph, so it's a no. This one here, vertical line, but when I draw the vertical line there, it hits 3 dots, so that's definitely also a no, because remember, you're only supposed to hit 1 intersection. All right, you guys try. All right, this one here is a yes, okay, because if you draw vertical lines, it only hits 1 dot. This one here is a yes as well, okay, and that has to do with these dots. If you guys kind of think about how most of you may or may not have taken biology yet, how a shoulder works, or some of you may see how a magnet thing works. If you have a ball and a socket that comes over the top, that's actually 1 unit, right? That's what this is kind of saying. You have 2 units standing here, and you can put this and interlock it, and it would be 1 continuous line, so that is technically a yes, it is a function. And then this one here, of course, is a no. All right, simple enough, but that's how you do it. You'll see homework on Alex based upon this stuff, and hopefully you guys will do well. All right, that's it for this first page of notes. Ladies and gentlemen, what's coming up will be on page 2. I hope you guys understand it. If not, please see your teacher or see myself when you can. All right, good luck, everybody.